Hey, how's it going, everybody? We are live here with another podcast, and this is someone that did a podcast, I think, 2 years ago?
2 years ago, yeah.
Yeah. And so we've got Rich Feola in the house. He is CEO over at Solar Exclusive.
Yeah.
The top guys in the game right now as far as getting leads for your solar business. So I'm excited to do a little follow-up episode here. We're going to talk about, how it's changed in the past couple of years.
Yeah.
Obviously, things have gone nuts with just AI and
for sure.
things like that. So we're going to jam on that, how we can use it in our solar businesses. So, yeah, man, thanks for coming on the show with us.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you. Yeah. So, I think 2 years ago, the industry was in a much different place.
Yeah.
But now I think there's some exciting stuff on the horizon because there's this new law that was just passed by the Federal Communications Commission. And basically it's saying that you can't generate a lead going forward, starting in a few months. It's already been passed. Starting in a few months, you can't generate a lead unless you have exclusive consent.
Okay.
So basically, all the companies that do shared leads or do work age leads and all these things, throwing them into auto dialers, cold calling homeowner data, all that stuff's going to become illegal with this new law. So it basically positions Solar Exclusive as one of the only go-to companies to buy leads from going forward in 2025 and beyond, because it's going to be really tough to get shared leads anymore because people have to literally fill out the form multiple times for every company they want to call them.
Oh, wow.
And so the lead costs for shared leads are going to go way up.
Yeah.
And 7 years ago when I started Solar Exclusive, I really had the option to go two ways. I could either be like everyone else and be a lead aggregator, where we just funnel all the leads from one page and then just distribute the leads afterwards. Yeah. So you don't know who you're going to sell the lead to until you generate it and then sell it. Yeah. But the way we did it was that we set up exclusive campaigns for every client. So every client has their own dedicated campaign, dedicated marketing, so that it's exclusive to them. And I didn't know 7 years ago when I built that model that that's how it would be when the federal government bans all the other models, So it's kind of it's good for us, but a lot of lead gen companies are going to have to adapt and change, and solar companies are going to have to adapt and change because they're so used to cold calling and using dialers. I know a lot of people in your podcast that in your world, they door knock. Well, obviously that's not going to be impacted, but cold calling through dialers, robo dialing, it's going to be totally changed, which is actually going to make the lead quality better for exclusive leads, because now when people actually fill out a form, they're not going to be getting blown up multiple times from just random people calling them through dialers. Because right now, everyone says, oh, there's not really truly an exclusive lead. They're all shared with multiple companies. So that's not really the case. The reality is that people are just filling out multiple forms and they're getting multiple quotes and they're getting called by multiple companies. And everyone and their mom is cold calling every single number in America right now, selling them solar.
Yeah.
So all these big dialers and these call centers are doing this, and if your lead filled out a form online, that's your exclusive lead. But if they get a million calls from some cold caller, that doesn't mean the lead was shared. It just means that there's big competition. But now that cold calling is going to stop because it's illegal with a robo dialer. So now the exclusive leads are going to be they're going to seem a lot more exclusive than they ever have been, because they're not going to be getting blown up by so many other people.
Yeah. Wow.
So it's kind of a cool thing that's happening. I think it's a good thing for the industry. I think it's going to help improve the industry, but it's going to force people to have some type of exclusive lead partner, starting in 2025.
Yeah. That's crazy. Now that reminds me, you're I think that's where you see some insanely successful businesses come, is where they kind of start something before it's a trend. I don't know. That makes me think of Netflix or something, where they're starting to first ship out the DVDs and all that, and probably people that are going to Blockbuster, they're what are these idiots doing?
Yeah, exactly.
It's okay, jokes on Blockbuster. You're the ones that didn't adjust quick enough. Right. So that's cool, and super smart, and obviously puts you guys in a good position.
Yeah, exactly.
That's cool. Well, so I want to talk about before we hit record, we were talking about just how AI has changed things. And this podcast, it's we have a lot of just, I think, sales reps that listen, maybe managers. And so I think there's definitely some things we could talk about, even if maybe they're not buying their own leads. How could you maybe use that just if you're a dealer running with your own appointments, whatever. So yeah, like when did you guys start using AI and what does that look like? I guess in 2 years when we first talked, how has maybe like the lead gen process changed? How have you started using AI or maybe other things that have changed your process?
Yeah, we started using it last year for like text message marketing. So like when leads would opt in, like we would reach out to them via text and AI would like kind of have a conversation with them and get them to schedule an appointment automatically.
Yeah.
So that was really effective. But you got to be really careful about how you use AI because now it's blowing up so big, and a lot of people are like talking about just like throwing in a bunch of numbers that are like homeowner data and then just blasting it with like an AI voice bot. But that actually was just made illegal by the Federal Communications Commission like 2 months ago. So 2 months ago is because like someone like took Joe Biden's voice and like blasted like every American in the country and like said all of his untrue stuff, you know? So like they're like, all right, we got to ban this. So they just banned it. Like you can't call anyone without exclusive consent with AI. So that's the one thing about like AI. Like there's a lot of ways you could use it, like tools and stuff to use it to like maybe, you know, help your business, like create like responses to emails maybe from customers or like create like a support box like on your website or something where people can chat with support, and that has like it's programmed with all like the most common questions like post sale before their install comes or something like that. Like that's kind of some stuff that you could probably play around with. But I mean, for us on the lead gen side, you know, we use it a lot for like scheduling appointments. So like once someone opts in, like our call center will call them, but also we'll have like the AI bot call them like a couple days later just to like on like 2-3 day old age data and just have it dial and set appointments for people. So, you know, you can use it, but you have to use it carefully because you don't want to just upload a bunch of numbers to it and then just like let it go crazy. Like you'll get shut down because like it's now illegal. But yeah, so there's other ways that AI can benefit solar professionals. Like I think with you know, when it comes to setting up like an AI assistant, like you could easily set up like a high level account, which is this software called Go High Level, where you can create this bot where basically you ask the homeowner when you're knocking on a door or you're in a home or something, and you get their phone number and or ask them to text your assistant to answer any questions that they have, and they just text a number. And then the AI bot will just answer any questions they have about solar and schedule an appointment for you. So you can go back to the house after you knocked, you know, like that's a really cool thing. Like, you know, Nito AI is like talking all about that, but you know, they have really cool software. You know, we've tested it out a little bit, but I mean, AI is advanced so much that you could easily do that with like your own software. Like you can do it with your own account in high level. Like it's, I mean, I know they have some like specific differences that they claim they have, but I mean, it's pretty much all conversational AI. It's all ChatGPT, the latest version of ChatGPT, right? So it's not tough to duplicate on a very low budget. Like you don't have to pay thousands upon thousands of dollars to do it. You could just set up a Go High Level account, set up a phone number, and just have your leads at the door, just text that number and they can answer. Like you could program it with like every single like most commonly asked question about solar. And then it could schedule an appointment for a follow-up for you to come out, call them, or come back to their house. So like that's like some pretty cool stuff that you could do with AI. So on the lead gen side, it's just like drastically improved like our conversion rates from leads to appointments. Because a lot of leads go dead, like they just don't pick up the phone. But like if we're texting them via AI and calling them via AI, it's like we don't need a lot of manpower because like we have limited people in our call center, right? So like we have to be calling the freshest leads at all times. But like after leads like go 3 days, 5 days, 7 days old, like a lot of those other leads are neglected. So like it's good for AI to like, you know, go through those and like, because it's not going to get tired, you know, it's just going to keep going. So it's pretty cool.
And that's what's cool. Like, even if you're, you know, maybe we got like a new rep listening to this that's like, what are these guys talking about right now? But I think like, even if you don't know any of this stuff, like everyone probably have heard of ChatGPT at this point. So even like a new rep, I think it's super useful. Just like maybe be like, okay, this appointment didn't show up to the schedule. I went and knocked their door, then they weren't there for their appointment. A lot of guys don't even know like how to follow up or what to text or whatever. So I think on like a very basic level, even if you're new at all this stuff, just go on ChatGPT and say, hey, my solar appointment didn't show up. What are some like, I don't know, some texts or emails I could send to follow up with them?
Right.
And then it can like, this is how I've started using it. It can literally give you like, 10 different interesting things to like follow up with them to like try to book a new appointment.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe if you don't have a CRM or anything, like you can just copy paste what it told you and then send it out yourself. But obviously it gets a lot easier and better if you can have like a high level or whatever and like automate a lot of these things.
Right.
But yeah, like is there any, maybe for like newer reps or people that are new to these things, do you have any other like, I don't know, ideas or ways that would be easy for like a newer guy to start using AI or even just like ChatGPT to maybe follow up or like help out?
Yeah. So, I mean, like you could ask ChatGPT to set up like a 10 email sequence for like old leads that like you knock on their door, like you got their info, but like they didn't book an appointment. Yeah. You could like send out 10 emails automatically through that. You could have it say like, hey, create me a text sequence over the course of the next 14 days. Like, what should I say over the next 14 days in a text sequence to like get people interested again in solar,
Yeah.
And like, you could just create this automated text sequence, have it be sent out with other software and stuff like that. Or you could just do it manually if you know like your hottest leads, like you want to do, you could use that. Or you could just test drive Solar Exclusive. We're doing a 30-day trial right now where we don't charge anything.
Nice.
We don't charge any fees except we only have to pay YouTube for the ad costs.
Okay.
And literally like we won't charge you for the first 30 days and like we'll give you all of this software to like test out.
Okay.
So it's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
I mean, it is an investment, like a minimum of like $3,000 to $5,000, like for YouTube ads, but per month. So like, it's not like for brand new reps, but I mean, we add in the AI stuff. We give you all that stuff, like included in our service, and we're not charging for the first month. It does expire soon, but I'm not sure when you're posting this, but we're going to do a 30-day trial offer, like a lot. Just because we're so confident in our results at this point that like, we don't have to lock people into long contracts. Like we used to lock people into like 6-month contracts. But now like we literally are confident because 85% of people after the first month are going to make sales and are going to continue. Yeah. So we just, say, hey, try it out for a month, test it out. And, we won't even charge you for the first month. Like just totally test drive it. Just pay YouTube because we can't get around that. We got to pay YouTube. Yeah. But yeah, like try it out for a month. You make sales, like then keep it going. If not, like you tried it,
Yeah. Well, I think that's super valuable. Even if you're just going to be like, okay, try it, cancel it after a month.
Yeah.
Then probably just the things you're going to learn alone from testing out their system.
Right.
I mean, not that they're going to like steal it all and like hack it, but like I'm sure there's like maybe just like principles and things you see it doing that you'd be like, okay, well, at least I kind of know like a more basic level and I can now apply this even if I don't continue with using the services.
Right.
So yeah, I definitely recommend people go try that out, give it a shot. And then another thing we were talking about before, Rich, is just like, I think a big problem, like, my background is door to door. A lot of guys come to this knowing nothing about like online lead gen or automation or like AI, none of this stuff. So another big problem I see and I talk about in my podcast a lot is just like, how can we be better at delegating things in the solar business? And that's one of my favorite topics. We actually just did the referral boot camp a couple days ago and
nice.
Talked about all these referral strategies, but it can be overwhelming if you don't know how to like delegate, automate a lot of this stuff. Cause like getting referrals takes a lot of follow up and setting up systems and everything. So, like what are some, I don't know, mistakes you see in guys or maybe clients you've worked with? What do you like coach them on as far as like, okay, here's some things you can like delegate, make your life easier. What are maybe some things you guys help out with or see mistakes made in that?
Yeah. I mean, I think just general business principles is like, there's like 4 like things that you could be working on at any given time. There's like the urgent stuff that you have to be doing, like revenue generating activities, like the most important things that like pay the bills. And then there's like semi-important things that could probably like be done like later. I mean, there's some things that you just hate to do that like you're not good at because that's why you hate it, because you're not good at it. Like that should be delegated. I mean, there's stuff that's like, probably important, but like not your expertise. Like you might like to do it, but it's like not your strong suit. So like those things have to be delegated too. So I mean, I'm always trying to like focus on the things that are like most primary for me, where my strengths are, and like my team members as well. And like, if they're not strong in those areas, to delegate. But I think with solar reps and stuff, like we just started using the Get the Referral app, which has been awesome.
Nice.
Highly recommend their service. They set up a whole app for us. So now, you could actually be an affiliate of Solar Exclusive. So if like, you're a solar sales rep and like you don't even like have the money to like buy leads from Solar Exclusive, but other like sales managers or solar companies that like could use us, we pay $500 a month for every time they renew.
Oh, cool.
So like it's really cool. They just download the app, they just submit a referral, it goes to one of our account managers. You could actually track to see when it gets closed, and then we just pay the $500 out every month, and it connects with your bank.
Okay.
So you just get a deposit every month that they renew.
Nice.
And we do that unlimited for as many clients as you. We normally only did the referral program for like people who were existing customers,
Right.
and we would just reduce their fees by the $500 a month. But now we're like branching it out to like all affiliates. And I think that's like another thing. Like I think solar companies probably focus too much on like their existing client base to get referrals from. But like if you're at an appointment and like they're unqualified, like they don't pass credit, or like their roof just doesn't have enough space, and like they don't have you can't do a ground mount, like just use that Get the Referral app. Just be like, hey, like, can you refer your neighbors, like your friends, your family, and just like, I'll pay you $500 every time they sign up, like literally, like you just connect your bank account. It's totally secure. And like, it's a no-brainer, I think, it's like, I think it's huge, but I think it's going to be a great way to grow our business because we've never done affiliates before. We've only ever given referral bonuses to existing clients, but now we can just literally like you have so many contacts in the industry, like you could just $500 every time you like refer someone, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's going to be kind of cool. So I would try to set up some type of system for that, to get more referrals. And as far as delegation's concerned, like I think a big thing that we're helping with now is like project management. Okay. So like we have a partnership with one of our clients who's been a client for like 4 years. They've closed like thousands of deals with Solar Exclusive. Yeah. They have a company called Project Pros, and they're like walking around SolarCon here. They're like in pink outfits or whatever, but they do like project management. So like we had a couple clients who like were struggling with like some deals getting through. Mm-hmm. One was in the state of Maine, one was in the state of Virginia, I think. And like they were struggling to get deals through the pipeline. So like they came in and like took over the paperwork, resubmitted the paperwork for them. They didn't have to contact customers at all. They did everything. And they were able to give them a lower red line with the installer and resubmit those deals and get them all approved, because like before they were getting disapproved and they weren't going to go through. Yeah. And like they fixed all those problems and gave them a bigger commission, even after they took their cut of like 10 cents a watt. So it was like incredible. So we're offering that to our clients now who want like to just focus on selling, right? Because like when you're a sales rep and you're crushing it in solar, like you want to close more deals. Like you want to focus on closing. You don't want to be focusing on like, oh, I got to call this customer, they have to sign for the main panel upgrade. Like I got to get them to like be at the house, like have someone come out and take pictures, like all that stuff, like the site survey. Like you don't want to deal with any of that stuff. Like these guys will just handle it all for you, and they'll get the deals installed faster than you will by yourself. You'll get paid faster, and who knows, like they may even be able to get you a better deal. Like they can get you like more commission after all is said and done anyway. So it's kind of like, I think it's a no-brainer. So we've been partnering with them for some of our clients, and they've been seeing amazing results with them. So check them out, Project Pros, and check out Solar Exclusive, and we'll plug you in with them if you want to learn more about them.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, no, just great principles. Even if you don't, necessarily like hire any of these people or whatever, like. I actually did this presentation at our event just barely, but just getting in that delegating mindset of thinking of things you could possibly delegate. Right. I remember when I was new in the industry, it's like, I'm going to do everything myself. No one can do it as good as I can. Right. And it's just like, you start to see so much time where, okay, instead of like being out prospecting, being in appointments, I just spent like 2 hours fixing pipeline stuff and going and taking pictures, going and getting missing documents. And it's just like, you can never be like a phenomenal seller if you're having all that time that's spent on those other tasks. So yeah, I think it's a great principle to just get in the habit of, and I'm sure there's tons of stuff you delegate. Like you're not the one that's going. You have a team, obviously. You
Yeah.
guys, how many people you got on your team over it? So
We got like 30 people in the States. Then for running all of our ads, 'cause we run so many ads, we've got like 200 people overseas.
Wow.
So like we train them on like, hey, like click this button, do this, like with the Google ads and YouTube ads and stuff.
Yeah.
But since we're doing so many campaigns, we need like that many people overseas. So it's just cheaper to do it that way than have like 200 people in the States, you know?
Yeah,
and we have to charge a lot more.
Yeah, that's where I have my assistant too over in the Philippines.
Yeah.
Great workers. But like, and then maybe someone that is like, okay, I want to start maybe like hiring more of a team, outsourcing stuff. What are some lessons you learned, maybe working with these people overseas? What are some like, I don't know, maybe examples of systems or maybe mistakes you made in hiring? You have any advice on that for people?
So we have everyone take like this behavioral assessment before we hire them, because it kind of shows us. It's not a disc. So like this is a different type of assessment. It's called Harrison assessment.
Okay.
And basically what it does is it measures behavior, because a lot of these like disc assessments or like Myers-Briggs assessments, like they measure someone's personality. Yeah. But like I don't care like what type of person someone is. Yeah. I care about like what they're going to do when they work for me. Yeah. Like I care about like how are they going to act in like stressful situations? How are they going to like, you know, make critical decisions? How are they going to like, you know, invent like new ideas and like new initiatives? How are they going to, you know, be able to manage a team, like stuff like that, you know? Yeah. So like the behavioral assessment asks like a series of like questions that rank all these different like categories in a work environment, but it's all based on like choices and like things you do. And your preferences on doing certain things rather than like on your preferences of how you feel and like what type of person you are, because that really doesn't matter. Like someone could be a total jerk but be like the best worker in the world, right? Like they could have a really weird personality profile but still be a great worker, or vice versa. Like someone could have a great personality profile but like end up being the worst worker in the world because they don't behave well. So like I'd rather track people's behavior. So that's like we try to like avoid bad hiring so that we don't have to like deal with a bunch of training later. I'd rather just hire the right people that I can train easily than like hire people that I have to always be training and like it's just a waste of time. So that's kind of the first step before you even like interview someone. You're like, hey, take this. No, it's usually like the last step. So we'll interview a bunch of people, we'll weed through a bunch of candidates, and then we'll give them this assessment at the end, like with the top candidates, and like just make sure that they're like a true A player. And you'll be surprised, like sometimes we see like, oh yeah, this person is like not a good fit. They interviewed really well, but like they're not a good fit, so like we're not going to hire them. You know?
Yeah, that's good. No, so important. And I think that's because I made a lot of mistakes. I mean, I have a virtual assistant right now, nothing crazy, but these are things that if you are hiring someone for the first time, it's like, they can look good on paper, they can say the right things, but something that I learned too is just putting people on like I don't know if you guys do this, but putting them kind of like a trial period or whatever. Saying, okay, we're going to see how it works, bring you on for a month or whatever. And then continue after that. Because when I first hired my like assistants, I was like, all right, you're hired. You sound awesome. You're going to crush it in this. And they're like, sweet. And then, you know, they worked for like 2 days and didn't show up. So I'm like, okay, maybe I should like say, hey, we're going to test it out. And then, you know, kind of like make it official after that. So,
Exactly.
Good principle. But no, cool. And then last couple of things, Rich, I know you guys just rolled out a new thing where you're actually helping people basically create their own marketing department. Which is super awesome. And I know this is maybe like a higher level thing. This isn't going to be for like a new rep listening or whatever. But what made you guys decide to like offer that, to just, because I know for you guys, you're probably like, oh, we just want to keep people and do all the marketing for them. So what gave you that idea of helping companies like create their own in-house marketing department? So for companies doing like 50 deals a month minimum, like 100 deals a month, 200 deals a month, like they're just tired of rotating through a bunch of lead vendors, right? Like they always have to be hiring new lead vendors, always be buying leads all these different places. A lot of them do a lot on the doors too, but like they're trying to get like an in-house marketing team going, right? Or like they're trying to do some leads like to feed their virtual sales team, to do an inside sales team, you know? And the problem is that a lot of these bigger companies, they just spend a little bit of money, like $5,000, $10,000, $20,000. It might not seem like a little bit of money, but in the grand scheme of like running ads, like running $5,000 or $10,000 or $20,000 for like a month or two,
like is not a good litmus test on whether it can really work.
Yeah.
Because like it takes time for these campaigns to dial in. So rather than like having them throw a little bit of money at like so many different lead vendors, seeing like, oh, which one sticks, which one does the best, like you really have to go all in on like one strategy. So we're going to teach companies how to build their own in-house marketing team for Google ads, YouTube ads, Facebook ads. And like, it's a significant investment, but we're going to actually provide a director of marketing for them for as little as $1,000 a month. Wow. So that they can fire all their other lead vendors. Yeah. Because once they commit to it and they're like, yeah, we're going to like invest in this, we're going to actually like commit the time necessary to like make sure this works. And they actually like build it all out and they own everything. We download all of our data from $140 million worth of ads that we've run over 7 years, 4.7 million leads that we've generated. We download it all into their account so they own it. Yeah. And because a lot of these bigger organizations, like they need to bring it in-house because with these new regulations passing, they're not gonna be able to afford to keep paying premiums to all these different lead vendors. Yeah. They're gonna have to bring their marketing in-house. So rather than just like have a big company like come to Solar Exclusive and be like, hey, like we're gonna throw 10 grand at this for like a month or two and see if it works. Yeah. Like, all right, why don't we like actually like get down and dirty and like actually build this in your business? And like, why don't you spend 100 grand, 200 grand? Like, why don't you really go to like town with this? But like, if it's in your business, you're going to feel a lot more comfortable about spending that kind of money than like just like testing out a lead vendor. Cause like if we build a department in your business, you can start at that 10 grand, 20 grand. And then once you see the results, because your CAC is going to be way lower because you're not paying us retainer fees. You're not paying us fees. Yeah. Like you're just paying YouTube only and Google only and Facebook only. Yeah. And then once they see the results, like they're going to be able to max out, like spend as much as they want, 100 grand, 200 grand, 500 grand a month, like some of our clients, and they're only paying us $1,000 a month. Like it's way cheaper to do that than like have 10 different lead vendors and like pay premiums for everything. Cause then your cost per acquisition goes way up because you're paying those premiums. Yeah. If you can get the leads at cost because you have an in-house team, like that's way more beneficial for a lot of big solar organizations. So we're like not like trying to like put us out of a job, but at the same time, like we're going to be there to consult them. Like they pay us $100 an hour just to consult them anytime they need help. Okay. So like they're still going to be like in our ecosystem. Yeah. But like, you know, we're fine like giving them all this value, like $140 million worth of data so they can have like a seasoned account, like ready to go. Yeah. Because I just think it's a better service to these bigger organizations than like, hey, just pay me 10 grand, 20 grand a month and pay 20 grand a month to 10 other people too. Like, like why do that? Like just own it in house, you know? Yeah. Yeah. No, that's power owned. Yeah. So if you're a company that it does have different, I've thinking of companies I've worked for where they've had like, you know, 6, 7, 8 different lead providers and like, yeah, I know it's like an investment to have you guys help with that, but I'm sure if you add up the cost, if you're paying 7, 8 different people yearly, it's like, it would be super nice to have, cheaper, have that in-house. And I think just that's something I've seen in general. It is nice to get some stuff in-house because I know there's like, for example, people that want to hire out, outsource things or assistants and all that. You know, you can always go to like a Fiverr or an Upwork. There's like stuff you can outsource. Right. But that's like I found it a lot more valuable to get my own, you know, virtual assistant in-house than constantly like paying people. Cause also they like learn your business, how you're doing things and all that. So it's like if you bring someone in-house, they can learn your style and it's not like you're having to train your different lead gen partner on maybe how you want things every time. So it's a cool idea. Well, last couple questions, Rich. So like I know things have changed in the couple years that we last did a podcast. So for you, I don't know, do you have any like insight on where do you see like the future of lead gen changing? Do you think there's going to be any other drastic changes that you foresee in the market or any, I don't know, insight you have on that? I think this one for the exclusive leads is going to be a massive one. So starting in 2025, like solar companies aren't going to be able to dial like homeowner data or robo dial age data anymore. So they're going to need exclusive leads. So everyone's going to be like yearning for exclusive leads going forward. So like it's like paramount that, you know, solar companies do invest in this to like figure out how to do exclusive leads, whether in-house or like hire a company to do it for them. Because like you don't want to get caught with your pants down. Like if you're relying on like cold calling and auto dialing and like all this stuff, like it's going to be gone. Like in just a few short months, like 8 months from now, it's like no more, you know? And like, it's crazy. Like this ruling in the FCC, like I put it up in my presentation at SolarCon. It's like on page 5, it says that they gave authority to like Verizon, AT&T, T-Mobile to just like shut businesses down from like having any of their calls go through. And it's not even just like, oh, well, I'll just buy another number. It's like, the number is like registered with your EIN number. Like they'll just shut down your EIN number. So like none of your calls will go through. Really? Which is like crazy. Like it's just going to shut people down. Like, and you don't even have to break the law for them to do that. Even if they suspect that you broke the law because you're auto dialing so much, they could just not let your calls go through to cell phones. Like it's just going to like totally,
that's brutal.
It's going to emasculate like so many like solar leads because like most of them are done through call centers, you know? It's crazy. But like I think that's gonna be like the biggest one coming up. And then I think as far as like the AI stuff, we're gonna see a lot more of like AI appointment setters. Like we're already building that out and using that for a lot of our campaigns. But I think it's only a matter of time before AI is banned, honestly. Like I think someone's going to get taken advantage of, or there's going to be a series of people scammed from AI, and I feel like they're just going to be like, look, like this is too dangerous. I don't know though. It's like, how involved is the government going to get? But like, I mean, I used to live on the East Coast, and like New York City wanted to like make it so you couldn't buy a 32-ounce like thing of Coke. Like, yeah, like a big gulp was like against the law. Like 16 ounce was like the biggest one. So like, I don't know. I feel like the government's willing to like ban anything that like isn't good for people. You know, it doesn't stop someone from buying 2 16-ounce big gulps, you know? And like people are going to use AI, like I think, you know, either way, but like I think the government's going to have to crack down on it because like when it starts to replace salespeople, that's where it's going to be like scary. Because like then they don't need you anymore as a solar salesperson. Like these big EPCs or like manufacturers are just going to use AI to sell solar, and they're just going to install it directly and cut you out. So like I think that if it might be a good thing to like curtail the AI a little bit. And I think that's probably what's going to happen. I think some people are going to get scammed, and like it's just going to be too powerful and too scary for a lot of people to like be ripped off by AI. So I think, you know, we might see some changes with that in the coming years.
Okay. Well, you're good. I guess use it while it's here, right?
Exactly.
Take advantage now. But no, I mean, I guess that's important. Why it's important to maybe have like other systems, not put all your eggs in one basket. I guess. Exactly. Backup plans. Well, cool. It's been fun jamming with you again, Rich. And if people want to possibly like, you know, start working with Solar Exclusive or connect with you more, what's the best way to do that? So either follow us on Instagram at Solar Exclusive or check out solarexclusive.com. We're doing a 30-day trial right now. No long-term commitment, cancel anytime. Just try it out, make sales, continue. If you don't make sales, like just, you know, come back later, try it out again. We're always doing these 30-day trials. So, you know, solar season's about to ramp up. You know, people are more interested in solar when their electric bills are higher. Our lead costs are gone down so much. Like so many big solar companies are not spending as much anymore. Like SunPower's not spending as much. Sunrun's not spending as much. Like so many of these big companies have like cut back their spending because the solar industry is struggling. So it's a great opportunity for you to get in and like get leads at lower cost than they've ever been in like the last 3 years. So try it out. Try it out for 30 days. If it doesn't work, you know, cancel, but you know, you can cancel anytime, and we're confident we can get you results. So check out solarexclusive.com. Love it. So guys, go check it out. And even if you haven't done online leads in a while, like Rich said, it's probably a great time now when these big companies aren't dropping millions. Makes it a little bit easier for the smaller guys like us. So go check it out and take advantage of the free trial. And how much, if it's like maybe a newer rep, how much should they expect to like, I don't know, spend on ads?
Probably like $3,000 to like start out. Per month. Like, but we won't charge you a setup fee or retainer fee. So it's just the $3,000 that goes to YouTube, and you can get anywhere from like, I don't know, 50 to 100 leads off that. Cool. So
good. So go check them out. And Rich knows I'm still a big door knocker and all that, but even if you're a door knocker listening to this, like still so many things you can apply. And I always, you know, recommend the guys like, you know, you can supplement your door knocking with a lot of this stuff and still set up these systems. And I think that's what makes an even better rep and more powerful as you're knocking the doors. When you have
for sure.
some of these systems in place. So thanks again for coming on with this, Rich. And
thanks, Taylor.
hopefully we'll do one before 2 years and hear about some of these trends. And we'll see when AI is banned. And
okay.
talk again.
Sounds good, man.
Thanks,
man. Thanks for having me.